Greetings, everyone. I am the Moon Mama, coming in today to talk about the Virgo Full Moon. This is the last full moon of the year, and before we have spring, which comes in, which is really the first of the year. Spring comes in April, when the sun goes into Aries, and then we're going to have eclipses happening. When I tell you, reality is changing, y'all. Reality is changing, and it's so exciting. It's, for those of us who maybe haven't been doing the work, it might feel very threatening and very scary. But what reality is changing into is this new experience of ourselves and how we relate to reality. It's always been that we are projecting reality, and a year or so ago, some scientists got a Nobel Peace Prize for proving that reality is not local, that it is projected from within. And as the sun is beginning to send in all of these new energy codes, what I'm experiencing personally is a breakdown of my old consciousness, my old way of being. And that was anchored and conditioned through religion, through narratives about being a woman, about being a black person, about being an American, through narratives around economics and relationship, and all of these things that I believed about myself according to what the social contracts and standards were. And now, as we move into the age of Aquarius, all that's over. So where we were in sort of group think, now the age of Aquarius is your individual self. Now the work, as I have experienced, is dissolving the old paradigms, like really letting go of those old belief systems. And my experience is that this has been very, very, very arduous, rewarding, challenging, difficult work, because the first part of it was realizing where I was, like, oh, my life doesn't work in the way that I really want it to. You know, we're told to go to college, study, then, get a job, and then you'll make money. Well, there were people that I saw do that, but that didn't work for me. And what I had to understand was that my system is different, but it took me years to figure this out. It took me getting married to realize that's not for me. It took me going to college to realize that's not for me. It took me studying and understand, because everything contradicts. So I had to get clear about what I was involved in. And so I studied, American government so I could understand that. And then I studied religion so that I could understand what that was. And then I started studying myself. And what I realized was that it's like I was a square trying to be put into a circle, or I was a circle trying to, it just didn't fit. So I had to get clear about who I am so that I could understand my system, how it functions, so that I could then begin to play the game in the way that that is according to my codes. So one of the things that I've always been very, very, very sensitive. And so in the last 7 or 8 months, I have been doing the work to heal my body, because our body is the ground zero for our power. If you don't have access to your body, and our bodies are being contaminated with sugar and alcohol and, poison in the air and food products, and those systems, those foods block up your capacity to allow energy to flow through you. So what I realized is I had to change the way I was eating. Then I had to first I started changing the way I was thinking, the stories I was telling myself, then changing the way I was eating, then realizing that, there were blockages in there from my ancestry. So I was holding despair and anger and fear and doubt that came from my ancestral patterns. And then I was born into an environment where there was a lot of poverty. So my body reacted to the environment that I was born in with sinuses and hives and, I would just have colds and canker sores, all of that in reaction to an environment that didn't allow me to truly be who I was really meant to be. So as an adult, I had to undo that stuff because the body remembers everything. So I had to face all of that stuff as an adult and clean it out. And now as we're coming into this Virgo full moon, Virgo is about integrating. Virgo is the harvest. So whatever you've been focusing on for the last 6 months, year and a half, is what's coming into manifestation now. This Virgo energy, Virgo is an earth sign, it's a mutable sign. It's Virgo is the birth of the Christ consciousness, right? So the Mary in the mythology of Jesus, because it's a mythological story, Mary is a virgin. What is a virgin? A virgin is a Virgo. And what does a virgin do? It integrates. It says what has value and what does not, what stays and what goes. And it has to happen through the body, because the body is how we give birth, when we can take in as much light as possible. And the way you can take in as much light as possible is by having dominion over your emotions, over your mind. So, and that's the masculine and feminine, right? The emotions are the feminine aspect of you. The masculine is the mental aspect of you. So when you have dominion over those parts, the way you have dominion in your car, you are the driver. When you have dominion of your emotions, the dominion over your mind, then you are aligned, and then you can create a reality in this external world because you have harmonize the energies inside of yourself. This shit is so profound, you guys. It is a puzzle. It is fun. It is the hardest thing I've ever done, and I'm so grateful that I have a profound relationship with spirit, and that I'm intuitive enough to follow directions that I hear from inside of myself. And the one thing that I have learned, I've learned a lot, but the most important thing I have learned is that we don't have anything more valuable than our breath. The breath is the most valuable thing. And it was so interesting because as I've been dealing with so many sinus challenges in the last 6 months, releasing the mucus that coded unworthiness and fear and sadness and despair around being an American and being Black, all of that got coded in my system. And as I have done the work to heal my system, what I'm realizing is that our sensory system, and we know this we interact through this in this earth realm through our senses. How we're interacting is through our senses: taste, touch, hearing, sight, right? And so if we are ingesting poison, we are in any way, fast foods, alcohol, anything, negative talk, all of that sort of stuff, it's going to block up your flow. And that is the breath. The breath is the only thing here. The breath is the thing that keeps us here. That is the key to this reality. And so as we move into this Virgo full moon, I really encourage you to look at what needs to be released. Ask deeply, what do I need to let go of? What no longer serves me? What is keeping me bound in old ways of being? And tell yourself the truth. Just tell yourself the truth. And as you tell yourself the truth, ask your spirit guides, your ancestors, yourself to help you do the work to shift it. And take responsibility for it. Understand it, because this age of Aquarius, after we get on these eclipses, what we're going to start seeing is that who you are inside is coming out. People are not going to be able to hide who they really are. It's not going to be coded with all of these other things of responsibility. If you're not taking care of your health, you're going to begin to experience health challenges because you're not taking responsibility. Everything that you are leaving to someone else's responsibility is going to become a burden because it's not anybody else's responsibility. All right, you all, you can book natal chart readings. I'm doing coaching with private clients a lot now, which is really powerful. I've been working with a lot of Black women who are committed to waking up to who they really are. It's really fun. So you can check me out at healwiththemoonmama.com. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a beautiful day.